Up next, are these kids learning or playing? Actually, both. Stick around for a new teaching tool that's right up to date. We'll be right back.
One of the biggest challenges for schools today is teaching in a high-tech world. And some educators say the old methods just don't work as well in the 21st century. CBS News science and technology correspondent Daniel Seberg visited a school in rural Indiana where fun and learning is just a mouse click away.
Turn around and play.
This teacher knows a thing or two about play. When he's not in the classroom, he's out on the field coaching varsity football. But in class, video games help his 10th grade students analyze the political and military nuances of World War II.
As soon as you start dropping bombs, people die. This is a game, but in the real world, when you do it, people die.
Almost 2,000 miles from Silicon Valley, here in rural Indiana, Dave McDivitt is on the front line of cutting-edge education. And he says if teachers want to connect with the wired generation, they should consider going high-tech.
Teenagers today in this country growing up with laptops and iPods and cell phones, they need and desire something like this in the classroom.
Nearly 100 colleges and high schools around the country have made the video game Making History part of their course curriculum. And so far, most teachers are giving it an A+ for results.
We are trying to move all of our troops to Germany because we're the UK. We're all trying to keep Germany from attacking Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
That game players retained more information and were much more thoughtful in their essays than what the traditional classroom was. And that was surprising to me. You want to invade Germany? Good.
Games in the classroom have been around since the days of Pac-Man, but the idea is scoring points as the sophistication and interaction reaches the next level.
If you're going to invade Germany, you have to have access to that land.
Unlikely allies recently endorsed the idea, including the Federation of American Scientists, which produced this game, and the MacArthur Foundation, which provided $50 million for research.
Are they more engaged with the game than they are with the books?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you look around, you won't even see a book. I told them not to bring them.
Do you think it's possible that video games could one day replace books in the classroom?
It gave us information that the book contained, but it also let us be a part of it. So yeah, I think video games like that could replace books at one point.
The company behind the game says it'll happen gradually, almost imperceptibly.
Tell me where you see video games or educational software fitting into classrooms in the next 5 to 10 years.
Games will lose their distinct identity as a piece of the curriculum. As digital content becomes the primary way that the stuff is delivered, it will be just built into everything you do every day.
Further blurring the line between homework and play.
The company that makes the game says they've sold it to 9 more schools since we did that story, 8 high schools and 1 college.
I think it's great that it makes learning more interesting, but as a parent at home, you're always pushing back against your kids. They want to play video games. You're like, no, no, no. That's not a good use of your time or your brain. So does that present a problem?
It can. I mean, certainly not every video game has an educational component to it. No one's saying that, say, Grand Theft Auto should teach kids how to drive or socialize or something like that. But these games have a certain part of them that makes it interactive, and it gets kids involved in a way that some kids don't.
And there are all sorts of these kinds of games really up and down the age groups, right? Like where would parents get a hold of something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are educational games for all levels of children. Some of them teach math, some of them teach spelling, grammar, all sorts of things. You can get them at just about any sort of a game store, Best Buy, GameStop. You can order them online.
Are
and they're
books going by the wayside, though,
You know,
Daniel?
if you ask kids, they would say, let's throw the books away. But I think it's going to be a while before we see them gone entirely in the classroom, for sure.
We're such a high-tech world, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Daniel Seberg, thanks so much. That was so interesting. Still ahead, Dave and